Hi, in this video we are going to go over two student writing samples and analyze the paragraphs, how they are organized according to the four key parts of academic paragraphs: topic, development, example, and summary. The assignment was, in your project assignment this week, please write two paragraphs. The first paragraph should introduce your inquiry topic in a neutral fashion in the form of a question. Develop it and identify the type of judgment or judgments involved. In the second paragraph, please explain in greater detail why this topic is important to you, your community, and/or the world, etc. Let's read through the first writing sample and then we'll analyze it. Homelessness. In the U.S., over 550,000 people have no stable home at any given time. My issue is the issue of homelessness and what can governments and cities do to help the problem of homelessness. For this inquiry, I will be making an instrumental judgment regarding the effectiveness of different homeless programs, both current, in-place programs, and proposed new solutions. Moreover, my inquiry will include a factual component because I will be discussing the data and statistics resulting from each program. This issue has been a target problem for the federal government and local communities alike, with many programs and budgets being put into action in attempts to combat the rampant problem of homelessness. Homelessness is a worldwide issue affecting not only second and third world countries, but also our own country of the U.S. I am personally not a stranger to the effects and reality of this community issue, for the neighborhood I live in is greatly affected by this issue. My whole life I have witnessed homelessness and have grown accustomed to this sad reality, that really anyone can become homeless. Furthermore, the problem is costly to the taxpayers and governments alike. For example, in 2017, it was estimated that 85,000 disabled Americans were chronically homeless on the streets or in shelters, and each one of these individuals cost the government about $40,000 per person per year. Usage.org. Thus, it is natural to attempt to find the best, most cost-efficient solution there is. Now let's divide these paragraphs into the four parts: topic, development, example, summary, using color fonts. Here's how I divided the first paragraph. You can see that all four colors are there, and the author started with a hook, which doesn't technically fit into the four key parts, but is very important, especially at the beginning of an essay or an entire paper, which this would eventually grow into being. So the hook is, in the U.S., over 550,000 people have no stable home. And then he goes right into his inquiry question, blue. My issue is the issue of homelessness and what can governments and cities do to help the problem. And then he does a thing called interleaving. He does a development with a quick explanation, a development with a quick explanation. So he talks about the instrumental judgment there in green, and then explains it a little bit more. There's current in-place programs and proposed new solutions. As it turns out, there was his paper turned into a comparison of homeless ready versus homeless, what was it called again? Home ready versus home first. So there were two different types of programs, and he was looking at how they compared in success. And then he talks about his factual component. That's the development. The explanation is he's going to be using data and statistics from each program. And then a final summary sentence for the paragraph. And here's how I divided the second paragraph. Very straight, not interleaved, but just straight color blocks. Homelessness is a worldwide issue affecting not only other countries, but our own country of the U.S. And it turns out his paper was all about homelessness in the U.S. So that was his topic sentence. And what I liked about his explanation, he talked about how it was important to him personally and to our country. And then as an explanation, he says, for example, in 2017, it was estimated that so many Americans were homeless. And that also reinforces not only the part about it being costly, but also the part about it being a sad reality. And of course, where he put some facts, he also gave the reference at the bottom of the paragraph, or the two paragraphs. So in conclusion, the homelessness writing sample followed the four key parts model very closely and was very easy to read. Here's the second sample on meditation and mental health. The issue of the effects of meditation on mental health is not a topic that gets enough coverage or recognition. Many studies have found positive results of using meditation in order to treat disorders such as anxiety, depression, along with some psychological difficulties associated with chronic pain. So then, what are the effects of meditation on mental health as a practical treatment for several disorders? In order to fully develop a point of view on this question, one would have to use interpretive and factual judgment. The indicated question is also largely relevant in today's society of skyrocketing anxiety rates and in building our knowledge of methods that can benefit in potentially reducing the need for medications, which not everyone with mental disorders wants to use. Additionally, I personally believe that meditation can be a powerful tool to anybody who desires to feel more at peace with themselves or more in tune with their minds and bodies. Here is how I divided up the first paragraph. And you'll see right away that it's missing a couple colors. It's missing the orange example and it's missing the red summary sentence. So one thing that is interesting and can work is this student built up to the topic sentence. In other words, she has a hook. The issue of the effects of meditation on mental health is not a topic that gets enough coverage. And then she has a little bit of development of that idea. Many studies have found positive results. And then she has built into the inquiry question, so then what are the effects of meditation? So that particular technique is okay, but in doing that, she lost some of the examples that she could have put in and a summary. Let's also look at the inquiry sentence itself. So then, what are the effects of meditation on mental health as a practical treatment for several disorders? That's a very broad topic. First of all, she has put in here several disorders, and then she's not said anything about specific effects. She's made it very broad. So it's all the effects of meditation on mental health and several disorders. She might want to limit this topic to specifically anxiety or specifically depression, for example, as she mentions in her development, or even pain, help with pain. Or since in her build-up she said how it doesn't get enough coverage, she might want to just look at the question, does meditation have an effect on mental health? And again, focus on a certain type of meditation, a certain area of mental health, such as depression or anxiety. Another point about this first paragraph is that she has no examples. But it's not hard to find straight up examples for these introductory paragraphs. A quick Google search found, for me, I found 2 articles very quickly. I didn't have to read the whole article, but I was able to read the abstract and get some quick examples. In a summary article, Psychology Today reports improvement in anxiety levels, sleep, and pain due to meditation. On the other hand, the other side of it is a study reported in Psychiatry notes that effective meditation may take years of practice to achieve. So within a quick Google search, I was able to give more explanation about her point that it's not getting enough recognition. There seems to be some delay in using meditation to improve mental health. Also, you'll see when I rewrite this first paragraph that I actually went and looked a little bit further into the internet to find another example in WebMD. Then if we look at her identification of the types of judgment, she says it's an interpretive and factual judgment, but that can also be developed. What is she interpreting, and what facts will she be making a judgment about? And finally, of course, she needs a summary statement for this paragraph. So rewriting the paragraph, it might look like this. A revised first paragraph might read, the issue of the effects of meditation on mental health is not a topic that gets enough coverage or recognition. However, many studies have found positive results of using meditation in order to treat disorders such as anxiety, depression, along with psychological difficulties associated with chronic pain. For example, in a summary article, Psychology Today reports improvements in anxiety levels, sleep, and pain due to meditation, AHMAD. However, in a frequently Googled article on WebMD entitled Tips for Living with Anxiety, 9 non-medication tips are given, including better sleep and more exercise. But meditation is not mentioned. Deep breathing is one of the tips, but the meditative part of deep breathing is not included in their instructions. In this paper, I have chosen to focus on anxiety. So then, what are the effects of meditation on anxiety, and is meditation a practical treatment for anxiety? In order to fully develop a point of view on this question, one would have to use interpretive and factual judgment. Interpretive, because meditation may have many different definitions, and factual, because it requires analyzing the evidence about meditation's effect on anxiety levels. If there is good evidence to support the use of meditative practices to treat anxiety, then this information should be more widely disseminated on popular medical websites. All right, let's look at the second paragraph. As you can see in the second paragraph, I only found development sentences. In other words, the writer listed several great reasons why this issue is important, but she didn't frame it in a well-organized 4 key parts paragraph. She definitely needs a topic sentence, some specific examples, maybe instead of saying rocketing anxiety rates in today's society, get some numbers about anxiety in college students, for example, and anxiety levels in college students. And she also needs a summary sentence. So a improved second paragraph might read, and please note that before I was able to write this revised second paragraph, I did have to Google some information so I could find some good examples. But here's how it might go. The question of the effect of meditation on anxiety is both an urgent issue for society and relevant to me personally. That was our topic sentence. First, in today's society, anxiety rates are skyrocketing. In 2018, 63% of college students reported feeling overwhelming anxiety, and 23% reported seeing a mental health professional for anxiety in the preceding year, LeBlanc. This year, the stress caused by COVID-19 has increased anxiety levels even more. Second, the medications used to treat anxiety may have side effects, ranging from headaches and tiredness to drug dependency and suicidal thoughts. Warren. Finally, my personal experience has shown me that meditation can be a powerful tool to anybody who desires to feel more at peace with themselves or more in tune with their minds and bodies. I am very interested to find out if the scientific evidence on meditation and anxiety lines up with my positive personal experience of meditation. If so, then that information should be more widely reported in social and news platforms. So do you see how in rewriting the paragraph, I did not jettison any of her points. I just developed them, gave examples, and framed them with a topic sentence and a summary. And here are the references that I found. So there was actually 5 of them. 4 references for these paragraphs. Now, I'd like you to note that thinking about the research question and focusing it better, just on this meditation one, skimming the articles, choosing the examples, and using EasyBib to cite them correctly did take about 2 hours. But as you can see, the improved paragraphs are much stronger. And as an added benefit, I now have 4 strong articles and websites to use in the next section of my project. So I've gained quite a bit, plus I've been able to focus my thoughts on this issue. So it is smart to invest time at the beginning of your research project defining your focus and making sure there actually exists an issue with various viewpoints, and it is an important issue. Okay, so in conclusion, remember that not all paragraphs will follow this 4 key part system. If you are writing a story or a newspaper article or a chatty blog, you probably won't need the 4 key parts system. Even as we move through the semester, not all your paragraphs will necessarily follow this academic paragraph 4 key part model. For example, you might be writing about the methods in a scientific research article, and it'll just be sort of descriptive. These researchers used infrared spectrophotometry in order to prepare the sample. They used this solvent, they heated it to this temperature, so it'll just be a descriptive paragraph. However, if as you're writing, whenever you're struggling to try to figure out how to organize a paragraph or what you're trying to say, always come back to this 4 key parts system, because it will help you define in your mind, not only for the reader but for yourself, what it is you're trying to say. Also, during the semester, if I'm having trouble reading your paragraphs or understanding the flow or the point of the paragraph, I will ask you to rewrite it for full credit using the 4 key parts system. Thanks for listening, and I hope this was helpful.